Where would I get residency if I didn't already have residency in Mexico? That's the question I'm answering today. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 2. That question was posed to me on the Day 1 video by Oko Lorena. I thought it was a really good question, so I wanted to answer it. Hey girl, hey. My name is Rashida Dow, and I am an immigrant to Mexico. I have lived here for 6 years in Mexico City, and I help other Black women move abroad to the country of their dreams. So I want to answer this question, but first I want to say that this is a tricky question to answer because residency is all going to depend on what you want to give up, a whole bunch of things. So I'm going to answer the question about where I would go, not necessarily where you should consider getting residency. Which brings me to the first consideration that I think you should think about when you think about getting residency, and that is, what is the most important criteria when you think about residency? When I think about what you have to do to get and maintain residency, the number one deal killer for me are residencies that have a large or a long presence in country requirement. What that means is that for some countries, if you get temporary or permanent residency, they want to see that you're in the country for a certain number of days each year. And I get it. It makes perfect sense. I just don't want that for my life, right? Like, I understand why someone would want that, why a country would require it. If you're going to get residency, you should actually be living there. But I want to float like a butterfly, sometimes sting like a bee. I want to just, go where the wind takes me. And so for that, I don't want to have to be in any one country for a amount of time that I haven't dictated myself. Other considerations that you might have might be how long you need to live in the country with permanent residency before you can qualify for citizenship, if that's important to you. Another one might be how much money you need to have saved or invested in order to qualify for residency. Same, but different. How much money you need to invest in the country or spend in the country before you can qualify for residency. Those are all different considerations for you. Maybe one of those is more important to you than the other. Like I said, mine is physical presence. So I'm going to give you a number of countries right now that I would consider, based on my life, that don't have a physical presence requirement or have a really low one. So Oko Lorena asked me, where would I go if I didn't already have residency in Mexico? And I hate to be that girl, but number one on my list is Mexico. But let me tell you why. There's always a reason. Let me tell you why. For the work I do, it helps if I'm in, for the work I do, and because I don't want to work at 2 a.m. in any other time zone. I want to work in the good daylight hours. And by the good daylight hours, I mean like 10 to 12:30. That's what I'm looking for. AM to PM. 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. is what mommy wants. And so I want to be in a time zone that aligns with U.S. time zones. I do most of my work in Eastern time. And so I like to be Central or Eastern time zone of the U.S., right? That's my sweet spot. I spent the last few days on Pacific, and I mean, I grew up in Pacific, so I know it, but whoo, it was a struggle doing stuff on Eastern time zone when I was in the Pacific time zone. I don't think I can. It's a struggle. I can do hard things, but if I don't have to, I don't really want to. So I'm looking at countries that are in one of the 4 U.S. time zones, that are not too far away from the U.S. and where residency is possible without a large physical presence requirement. So the countries on my list: Mexico, number 1, very close to the U.S. They don't care how long you're in the country. Get your temporary residency and come in to renew your permanent residency, or get your permanent residency and they'll see you when they see you, right? If you want to get citizenship, you do need to be in the country more, but if you want to get citizenship, you probably should. Next on my list is Panama. Basically the same requirements, does not have an in-country presence requirement. Love it. Belize, same thing, does not have that requirement. And last on my list, I know it's all kind of in the same space, but I've already told you why. Costa Rica. Costa Rica has a 1 day a year requirement. Not too bad. Not too bad, right? I'm thinking of a place that I could make a home base, I could travel where I wanted to, and I think I could have a nice life. And those are 4 countries. If I was looking a little further away, countries that I might consider some countries in Europe, because there are a number of countries in Europe that don't have an in-country physical presence requirement. They often require an investment of money of some sort in the economy. 2 countries like that are Greece and Hungary. I think they both require about 250,000 euros invested, which may be more than you want to part with for residency. But that is an option if I wanted to pay my way into a country that didn't have a high in-country presence requirement. Now, where would you consider getting residency? And what are your residency considerations? Like, what's at the top of your list when you think, should I get residency in this country? Should I not? Should I try to do it? Should I not try to do it? What is your number one thought? Like, what is your guiding principle behind it? I'd love to know, so let me know in the comments. If you want help working on your residency and getting out of the country as soon as possible, join us in Exodus ASAP, because this month we are doing a sprint that covers all 8 sections of our Peace Out protocol that will help you move out of the country, one of which is, where are you going? How do you stay there? Like, how do you get residency? How do you get to stay in the country you want to stay in permanently? We're going to help you with the steps along the way. The sprint is for the beginning of beginning of December, it'll end right before the holidays, but join us. You're not too late. We are getting it done. The women in there are getting it done. If you want me to answer a question of yours during Vlogmas, drop it in the comments here, or better place, the welcome video I did for Vlogmas, which I'll drop in the description. If you're not sure if a citizenship or a residency is right for you, and you have some questions about how to figure out what's good, you should watch a video that Stephanie Perry and I created on the Exodus Summit channel, which I'll link below, called "Is it Second Passport / Residency Visa Time for Black Women?" I'll link to that video below. It is going to give you a wealth of information about what you actually need to think about when you think about your legal status in a country over the next few years. So thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe. I hope you give us a thumbs up, and I will see you for the rest of Vlogmas. Bye.